Thank you, Chairwoman Klobuchar. I'd like to call up Hagerty Amendment number 19.
Amendment
The bill that we're
19.
debating requires the counting of ballots for up to a week after Election Day. This opens the door for perpetual disputes on any election that's close. It also invites even more fraud. If you think about the example of ballot harvesters going out once they find an election is close, so long as that ballot is harvested and dated on Election Day, that ballot's going to be counted up to a week beyond the election. I think this creates all the wrong incentives. It eviscerates confidence in our electoral system. And I encourage you to support my vote to do away with this practice.
Any comments on this? Senator Merkley.
Thank you. I'm just trying to examine what it is that's actually being struck on page 201 and 197, so I have to...
Well, it would require that postmarked ballots be counted when mailed on or before Election Day and received within 10 days following the Election Day. It would strike that.
This provision came about in part because the post office was changing so many systems in a fashion that made people lack confidence that the ballots would be delivered on a timely basis. The provisions that were in the manager's amendment changed the timeline, made it shorter, which I'd be happy if there was bipartisan support for that, to put that amendment forward again. And it also shortened the timeline for curing ballots. Curing refers to when an election official looks at the signature on the mail-in ballot and says, I'm not sure that's a match. So they notify the voter, and the voter has a chance to go down and say, no, that is my signature. It's the difference. It's changed. My signature's changed over 20 years. Shortening those timelines might make sense, but certainly the purpose, the fundamental purpose is, look, we are not going to let efforts to slow down mail service prevent people's vote from being legitimately counted.
And I would also point out that in 2016, 21% of people voted by mail. And in the middle of the pandemic, really astoundingly, so many people voted, but 46% of voters, think about that, more than double from 2016. 46% of voters cast their ballots by mail. I don't think a lot of them are going to want to go back. I think they found they could do it, and the problem is they will vote by mail more easily, but not if we make it harder for them to do it. And this simply acknowledges the fact that we're going to see more and more vote by mail, which we, of course, have seen big time in Oregon, and that this makes sure that these ballots will be counted. There was a lot of confusion. I think everyone knows this. I know this happened in my state, a last-minute court decision because we hadn't done a lot of vote by mail, which we literally had to, everyone, Democrats and Republicans, had to, with 4 days to go, explain that people, the postmark date had changed and things had changed due to one court decision, which was unexpected in the last week. And I just think this makes it clear for everyone when these will be counted, our bill. Senator Merkley.
Madam Chair, the extended timeline is often in place for counting military ballots, so it's not as if there isn't already a precedent in many states for accommodating a failure to deliver a ballot on time.
All right. Very good. Are we ready to vote? Oh, Senator
As I read the provision in the bill, it simply ensures that someone who voted and did everything right, got it in before the date, postmarked, their vote counts. And it's through no fault of their own if the ballot doesn't get delivered on time.
As long as it's postmarked.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's not a postmark. It's a date on the ballot.
Okay.
I think it says both, doesn't it?
Requiring that postmarked ballots be counted when mailed on or before Election Day.
Senator King, it'd be either. So again, a
Not
harvester
or
could go
before,
out,
but they can mail them
get
on
a ballot
Election Day.
with a written date, drop it in an unmanned drop box, and there you'd be. That's why the incentive is wrong.
it has to be mailed on that day. It just has to be shown up by the Postal Service to show that it was that day or before.
Well, I guess my point would be the same. If it goes into a drop box prior to the election, and it doesn't get collected for some reason, that's not the fault of the voter. Shouldn't their vote count?
If it's actually dropped in the drop box by that date and can be verified, certainly it should be.
Okay. All right, what?
I suspect the drop boxes won't be left sitting around
Okay.
after the day of the election.
Why do we have a vote on this? If we're okay, we've discussed it. Clerk will call the roll.
Senator Feinstein.
No by proxy.
Senator Schumer.
No by proxy.
Senator Warner.
No by proxy.
Senator Leahy.
No by proxy.
Senator King. Senator Merkley. Senator Padilla.
No by proxy.
Senator Oshoff. Senator Blunt. Senator McConnell. Senator Shelby. Senator Cruz. Senator Capito. Senator Wicker.
Aye.
Senator Fisher.
Aye.
Senator Hyde-Smith. Senator Hagerty. Chairwoman Klobuchar.
And no.
9 ayes, 9 noes.
The amendment's not adopted.